Good day all. So it's been a little while since I've done one of these videos where I'm staring at my computer screen. But I guess kind of keeping with tradition, because I did this, and sorry for the jerking around, trying to put this thing on a mini tripod. We'll see how well that works. But yeah, almost for nostalgia. I haven't, even though the consumer preview of Windows 10 has been out for a while, I haven't actually tried it yet. Well, I installed it last night, so I took a look at it. But figure in keeping with tradition, I'll do a quick video on it. I won't do the numbers of videos that I did with previous versions, Windows 7 and Windows 8, the beta stuff. But I figure we'll try at least one. So, I'm going to power on my virtual machine. I'm using VMware Workstation. It's just a 1-month preview. Following devices cannot be connected. Yeah, it doesn't like my flash drive, but I really don't care. Alright, so we've got it booting up. And yeah, I used to, take a lot, I'm sure if you look on older videos on this channel, I used to take a great interest in, beta operating systems, especially with the last three, Vista 7 and 8. But this time, I don't know, I just really didn't care that much, to be honest with you. Yeah, and that's kind of the whole situation as to why I didn't bother, getting on this right away as I have in the past. So anyway, so we're just gonna make this full screen. I have new apps that can open this, and whatever. So, but I think it's the fact that Microsoft announced that anyone who's running Windows 7 or 8 will get this free for at least the first year. I figured, well, I'll take a look and see. And in terms of what I've seen so far, there are cosmetic changes between Windows 8 and Windows 10. Actually, I should also say that I think the fact that they're calling Windows 10 is just completely ridiculous. But, that's Microsoft branding, whatever logic was used behind that. I really haven't done a whole lot of research to find out why they're doing that, because I really don't care that much. So yeah, so first impression, it is Windows 8 with some problems fixed. Although the problem that a lot of people have, which is, the lack of a start screen or a start menu, because I've actually been using Windows 8 for a little over 2 years now, actually. Yeah, I've gotten used to it, so it's really kind of a non-issue for me. But the first thing that you'll notice is you have kind of a start menu back, but really what it is, it's the start screen just kind of squished. And if you really want it, you still got the start screen. And there are a lot of these, right? If it really bothered you, you could buy a start menu. That would work with Windows 8 just fine. So really, this is, other than looking a little bit different for me because I'm used to Windows 8, it's just a non-issue. In terms of other changes, like I said, I've just played around with this, so this is just stuff that I noticed off the bat. So they've redesigned Windows Explorer again. So, yeah, I guess to keep things interesting, the icons have changed again. In terms of the actual structure, though, of Windows Explorer, it's pretty much the same as, well, this is not as easy to do on the tripod as I thought. But yeah, it's more or less the same as Windows 8. In terms of the default options that you have File Explorer and Documents, which, be honest, it's Documents is just pretty much part of the File Explorer. There are things that by default are not in here. There is, well, actually I'm over here. So yeah, so they're by default. I don't really see, for, this is a lot for people that are going from Windows 7 that have never gone to Windows 8. But there is no pictures option, and yeah, there's still more messages. I haven't bothered running updates because it's a virtual machine, and other than playing around with that, I don't really intend to use this. But yeah, so you got Documents, but you don't have pictures. Videos has been out of the start menu for years. There is no direct option for a control panel, but just like Windows 8, if you right click, you got the Task Manager, Control Panel, File Explorer, Search, all that kind of stuff right here. All apps, which, to be honest, I don't really like the way it is by default because there's a lot of scrolling. The icons aren't necessarily huge. Actually, what I preferred is just, you know, just the arrow drop down stuff that they had in Windows XP. But yeah. And in terms of other things that have changed now, they're still using Internet Explorer. Obviously, this doesn't include the preview of the new version. But one thing that you'll notice here, and yeah, I have this on image stabilization, but I know it's not the best, so I do apologize for the shakiness. I could have used a screen capture program, but I haven't in the past, and no, I didn't feel like putting one on there. And I guess kind of in keeping with the stuff that I did with 7 and 8, I just did it handheld. Although with a camera that was a lot less jerky. But one thing that you'll notice right here is the borders on the screens are gone, which, as far as I can tell, I think they're actually the current version of OS X, which I haven't really looked at. I haven't used OS X in years, since I think Snow Leopard was actually the last one I used, and then my Mac became unreliable and I didn't bother upgrading it after that. Anyway, so yeah, the borders are gone. If you notice up here, this is also just a little bit different in terms of the, where's my mouse, in terms of the design. You know, the close and minimize and maximize. It's got a little smiley face. Let us know what you think. So yeah, like I said, it's mainly just cosmetic changes. See if I can zoom that out a little bit. But I think, well, I'll bring this back. But I think if it wasn't being offered for free, I probably wouldn't bother upgrading. Even Windows 8, I didn't upgrade for full price. I had just a coupon for a $15 upgrade to Windows 8 when I got my laptop back in late 2012, and I just said, okay, I'll just try it for 15 bucks and put it on there. And yeah, it didn't really improve my life a whole lot over Windows 8. Or Windows 7, but you know, like I said, over the past couple years, I've gotten used to it. I have, out of my two desktops, my main one and my secondary, both running Windows 8. My laptop is still running Windows 7. And actually, one thing I noticed, because I am so used to using Windows 8 at this point, when I go back to my laptop, which I don't use as often as I used to, yeah, they're just, you know, I'm thrown off by the functionality. Actually, come to think, I use Windows 7 at work too, so, you know, it's kind of going back and forth between the two of them. But yeah, Windows 7, Windows 8, it's pretty much the same to me. You know, they're both the most stable operating systems Microsoft has ever put out. Knock on wood. And really, after you learn how to use it, it's stability is what you want, and you want it to do what you need it to do. In terms of aesthetics, I don't know. It does look a little bit sharper than Windows 8, but the first time I saw Windows 8, and if you remember the consumer preview for Windows 8, it was actually still using Arrow on initial release. It wasn't until it actually came out that they switched to kind of this Metro thing. But I've often found that 8 and 10 to a certain extent just look kind of hokey. Actually, initially I thought it would look like something that had been designed by Leapfrog. It's just, I think the 3 versions of Windows that preceded it were actually, in terms of aesthetics, better looking. You know, I still like the look of Windows XP. I know you know, a lot of people hated Luna, but I don't know, I always kind of liked it. Vista looked really cool, but nothing worked. 7, you know, it looked okay. It was unintrusive. It was basically a redesign on Vista. So yeah, I honestly, I think Vista and Windows 7 actually look more modern, or at least more advanced in my view, than this one. And I'm just looking right here. I don't know if they've gotten rid of the translucency, if that's a word, on the taskbar. I don't actually see anything coming through. And there's some things that will need to be redesigned, like the icons by default are a lot smaller down here, but the search bar is absolutely huge. In terms of, actually, I haven't looked at what they have over here, but yeah, it's more or less the same, just, you know, just a slight cosmetic redesign. In terms of the tray down there, and yeah, and they've moved the power off button again, which is up here. And at this point, I'm just going to power down. So in keeping with the tradition of previous videos, as I said, I have now done a video on Windows 10. And my impression, well, it works. It's Windows 8 just with the redesign, and really I'm not that excited. I used to get really excited about new operating systems, but now it's just, as long as it works, it's all I actually care about. And in case you're wondering what I was had this set for the virtual machine, 2 gigs of memory running on a single processor, 3.5, and yeah, just a 10 gigabyte hard disk. I've got this running actually on my solid state drive, which only has 120 gigs, and I don't like to keep a lot of stuff on it, so I'm just running it on there just for test purposes. And now that I've done this video, I probably won't do it again. If you look at the videos that I did for Windows 8, there were 3 of them. One was just a basic first impressions thing. The second one was running Windows Vista on my Toshiba 100, which I also, running Windows 8 on my old Toshiba laptop, which I also did for Windows 7, which that, if I had the laptop, I would do just out of curiosity, but I no longer have that laptop. It served me well for, I guess, 8 years and then died. And the other one was, will Windows 8 become the new Vista? Well, no, it didn't. I guess to answer that all these years later, it did not become another Vista. As I said, the problems with Vista were basically nothing worked. There were major architectural problems. The problems with Windows 8 really were just some design problems that didn't affect the reliability or stability of the operating system. And it was, I think everyone knew anyway that it was never going to be widely adopted, because it tends to be every second operating system that the general public and businesses adopt on a mass basis. It's also, every second operating system, at least for the past few, have been the least problematic. If you look at those that have had wide adoption, Windows 2000, which I guess that cycle is a little bit different because it didn't actually come out with Millennium. That piece of crap came out a year later. But Windows 2000, then XP, became widely adopted for years. Now it's Windows 7. But if you look at the in-between, you've had, well, like I said, 2000 and ME are a little bit different, but I guess you can kind of say ME is in the middle, which was the worst operating system ever. Then you had Vista in the middle, which was the second worst Windows operating system ever. Then you had Windows 8, which people didn't like because of the changes, and I can perfectly see that. And my stomach is growling, and I think I need dinner. So I will apologize for a rambling video, but, for nostalgic sake, this is my first impressions video of Windows 10. What I think is 4 months, possibly, since it actually came out. So not exactly a timely thing. I'm sure people have covered this before anyway. So, as always, everyone, thank you for watching, and have a great day.